got a few announcements here, so bear with me. First off, I want to thank Phyllis and Jamie so much for all their work for helping keep this church clean for the last 2 or 3 years. It's been much appreciated. But their schedules and commitments have changed a little bit, so they are going to kind of step away from that. So what we're thinking about doing is maybe every other Sunday, grabbing about 2 or 3 or 4 volunteers, and we'll just spend a few hours after the service. So if anyone has an interest, want to spend a couple hours, I don't think it would take really, and we could get that done every couple weeks after the service. And so anyhow, just see us. Also, I've been talking about art of if you've heard me talk about them, done meditation classes. They do it's called the sky breathing technique. It's a class. Excuse me. Anyhow, long story short, they are going to be putting on a class here on May 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's a 3-day class. Friday will be 5:30 to 8:30, Saturday 10 to 1, and Sunday 1 to 4. And Alok, that manages the place here in Vestavia, he's going to come next weekend after the service, and then 2 weeks after that, after the service, to give like a 30-minute talk and explain more about what the course does. But I've taken it, Carol's taken it, my Carol's taken it, Phyllis has taken it, and it's been great, honestly. It's scientific. There's been studies done about the benefits of it, stress relieving, mood enhancement, all kinds of great things. And combine that with meditation. I'm a big proponent and a spokesman for it. So anyhow, I'm excited about getting them, but we'll learn more about it over the next month. And if you have any questions, love for you to join us next Sunday after the service and 2 weeks after that too. All right. Also, we want to wholeheartely thank Miss Peggy and Miss Eddie for their leadership and service of the community over the last couple of years from the board. They are stepping down, but we're going to have downstairs we're doing the potluck, but also honoring both Eddie and Peggy, and I appreciate all that they have done. All right, and immediately after, we were going to have a special prayer chaplain installation of 2 new members of our prayer chaplain team, Mr. Dwayne Myers and Ms. Naja Naji. So thank you guys. Jim's stepping up there. We're excited about 2 new prayer chaplains. Got all kinds of stuff going on. And lastly, we're having our spring potluck downstairs in Beverly Hall right after the service, so please join us for that. All right, thank you much.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
If you will, right where you are, take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Recognizing that in this sacred, safe space, you are in the presence of divine being. That wherever you go, God is, and all is well. So as we bring our awareness into contact with substance, we say yes and we yield our minds and our bodies to be of service to the collective good, to the divine idea known as Unity of Birmingham. We send forth this healing and positive energy out into our bodies, out into our families, and out into the world. We allow the presence of God to move in this service in a way that only it can, for it is not by our personal might nor our personal strength, but by the presence of God. And we affirm that this service is blessed and blessed and blessed. And collectively we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Good morning, Unity family, on this gorgeous, sacred Sunday morning. Good morning. Spring has sprung. Not just all around us, but within us as well, giving rise to this joyful lightness in us, but also restoring our belief in our own resilience, reminding us of our never-ending ability to overcome circumstances time and time again. As we prepare for this time of meditation, you may want to lay aside things from your lap and sit with your spine erect and your feet firmly planted on the floor, palms up or down on your lap. I invite you to gently close your eyes, and we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out, divine. Again, breathing in, I am. Breathing out, peaceful. And finally, breathing in, I am. Breathing out, resilient. Now breathing normally, completely relax into your seat with each exhale. Notice the points of contact of your body with the seat and the floor. Relaxing deeper with each exhale. Let go, knowing that you are fully supported. Now turn your attention to the sounds around you. Just accept the sounds. Bringing your attention back to the body. Notice the rise and fall of the breath. The disciple James represents the harmony and balance that's always available through receptivity and guidance from Christ within. All the time we bear witness to the order in nature's rhythms. Plants and other life forms automatically align to it. As conscious beings, we are also nature, but with a twist. The power to choose to align to nature's rhythm or struggle against it. Paddling upstream, suffering. Nature is fascinating, a great teacher. Trees appearing dead in winter blossom beautifully in spring. Nature is not entirely pretty or easy. There's violence in the food chain, but it is orderly for sure. Jesus taught us, be still and know that I am. And we can be still long enough for the racing mind to quiet. From there, we can experience a clear mind and align more naturally with divine order. Divine order is ever present and available, helping us discern our true north as we navigate the seeming randomness in which we exist, helping us to hone in with clarity and purpose. the bigger picture of our existence. Romans 12:2 reminds us, do not imitate the way of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, that you may discern what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Through centering in the silence, we come to see the forest and the tree, and how a single tree can, through practice, come to humbly express the whole forest. Let us sit with a gentle smile for a few moments in the silence. Easing back into the room, I think I want to get us to end our meditation by being loud. We're going to affirm, make some affirmations together. Let's affirm together. I am one with life and all of nature.
I am one with life and all of nature.
I am gratefully aware that life supports me.
I am gratefully aware that life supports me.
And is never against me.
Is never against me.
I allow life's wisdom to gently guide me.
I allow life's wisdom to gently guide me.
Namaste, y'all.
Namaste.
Good morning, Unity.
Good morning.
So we are going to be in a moment together where I don't know if we've got a soundtrack, but if we don't, I'm going to play a song for you I wrote several years ago, and hopefully we'll remember how it goes. Pray with me that God surround us all in our daily walk. I've gotta take a stand. I've been down on my face too long. No time to creep, I've gotta expand and be strong. Gonna keep holding on. Caught up in the storm, I fall from my sanity. My soul lay torn, all of this fallacy, blinded to the truth of a greater reality. I pray, please free me from this danger and surround me with your pleasure. Surround me with the measure. Yours forever through all endeavors. Surround me. And
me within. I decided right then and there to start all over again. And when I think of the sacrifice, all the money in the world couldn't pay the price of a Savior is all so right. I have no fear. Surround me with your pleasure. Surround me with the measure. I'm yours forever through all endeavors. Surround me, holy majesty, wrap your loving arms around me, empower me with serenity through all eternity. Surround me, holy majesty, wrap your loving arms around me, empower me with serenity through all eternity. Would you guys sing along with me, please? Surround me with your pleasure. Surround me with good measure. I'm yours forever through all the days. Surround me.
Vertical channel, sorry. In this space, take a moment to rest. Take a moment to rest. Rest in the energy, in the vortex, in the aura created by the meditation, by the gathering of ourselves together as spiritual family, by the energy created by that beautiful, beautiful song. Allow yourself to be reminded that you are surrounded with infinite substance, infinite goodness. There's nowhere to go because you are everywhere. There's nothing to acquire because you are everything. You are surrounded by goodness. And in this sacred space for this healing treatment, bring to mind someone that really loves you, and you know it. Allow that feeling to wash over you. Place your hand on the middle of your chest and stomach. Take a deep breath in through the nose, release the divine sound of ah. Initiating your relaxation response, activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Rest in that love that they have for you. That burning love, burning passion, joy, delight. Allow yourself a moment to feel good. Now in this same space of safety and trust, bring yourself to mind and say this phrase, may I be loved.
May
safe. I am safe. May I be protected from all harm. I am protected from all harm. And then a big deep breath. Release the sigh of again. Stretch your arms. Let yourself hang and relax. If you need to yawn, yawn. But you can almost feel that reverberation of that leftover energy of feeling good and feeling relaxed. That's that serotonin release, that epinephrine, all those wonderful feel-good chemicals that are rushing through your body. And during your meditation, if you ride those chemicals, you can ride them into ecstasy. You can ride them into oneness with God. You can ride them into pleasure, into all kinds of meditative states. Everything that you need is in you, with you, as you already. That's your consciousness you're feeling. And that is the gift that you can give to yourself every time you pray. Let's send this good feeling energy out to those that are watching online. If you will, point your hands toward the camera. Say this with me. We love you. We bless you. We truly appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. And so it is. Our ministry is supported by partners like you. Remember to log on to unitybham.org and click on giving. Moderators are on standby before service and after service. So if you have a comment or prayer request, leave it there and we will hold it in prayer for you. Everybody say amen to that. Amen. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This month's theme is heart wisdom. Say this with me, heart wisdom.
Heart wisdom.
And the wisdom of the heart was something that really impressed upon me when I took some time last week just to kind of step away, and I went to the lake for a couple days. And I explored the nature of my own heart just by being away and being near the water. And I discovered something, that in all of my endeavors to eliminate all negativity, to eliminate all problems, to eliminate all frustration, you cannot use the mind when it is confused to free the mind. And so a deep question I asked while sitting at that lake was, what are the doorways to the mind? And that's when all of the message topics came to me on this week. Say this with me, calm mind. Calm mind. Under the theme of heart wisdom, calm mind is the subject on today. And I discovered, both at the lake and in my studies, that the body and the mind, we study them separately, yes? But they're actually one system. The body and the mind are interconnected. We have psychologically, chemically, psychiatrically, neurohormones, epinephrine, all that stuff running through our brain. We call them neurotransmitters. We have neurohormones running all throughout our bodies. So although we experience them separately, they're interconnected. So when the mind is frustrated, everybody remembers a time in their life where they were frustrated? When they experienced pockets of frustration. For some of you, that might have been this morning, that might have been today. The doorway to the mind is the body. Charles Fillmore in 1967, he didn't write it, but it's a collection of his writings. Unity School of Christianity produced what they call the Dynamics of Living. Say this title with me, Dynamics of Living. Dynamics of Living. And I want you to say this word because I want you to go out and get that book. It's available online on Amazon where books are sold, and it's also available as a free PDF if you click on a certain link. Go to truthunity.net to download it. But in Dynamics of Living, Charles Fillmore is recorded as saying in a collection of his writings that the physical body is a projection of our consciousness. Say this with me. The physical body is a projection of our consciousness. And I want to take my time today, and if you need to take notes, please take notes because I want to give you an invitation that you can apply all throughout the week. And it's a very simple one, and when you catch it, it might make you laugh. And you probably heard it before. Everybody knows the word consciousness, right? If you're scientifically inclined, consciousness is all the mind stuff, all the sensory stuff, right? All the invisible stuff that you can't quite see. And there are spiritual interpretations of it too. But I want to include the body in consciousness because Siddhartha, to quote the Wisdom of the East, said that there are three bodies that we have. Repeat them with me. The body of my mind, the body of my affairs, and my physical body. And when we take care of these three bodies, we experience wholeness. It's what Jesus said when he said, when 2 or 3 are gathered together, I am in the midst. Join me in this affirmation. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together, I am in the midst. 2 and 3 people are cool, but if you don't have access to 2 or 3 people, you can do it right with yourself. When your mind, let there be lights. When the mind and the body come together, I love this community. As soon as I hit that point, and I'm going there, bloop, this is what happens when there's harmony. We call it divine harmony and unity, but when the mind, or the body of the mind, the body of the affairs, and the physical body come together, and in some cases, sometimes it's not the body of affairs that's needed, because this experience that I'm talking about that comes from heart wisdom works regardless of circumstances, which is why Jesus gave us a way out. He said, we're 2 or 3, so you don't need all 3. You can have a messed up life, and this still works. You can have a messed up moment, and this still works. You can have a messed up day, and this still works. Because the presence of God, the presence of good, is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. We experience time as linearly, and chemically we experience it in our bodies. But time is eternal. Everywhere you go, there you are. And now is the only time there is. Not to sound woo, but I really want you to feel this in your body. Because without experiencing this information, it's just knowledge. With knowledge, you can change. But knowledge and experience, there's transformation. And transformation is what you want, because transformation is the only thing that produces everlasting change. With physical change of knowledge, you have to fight like a diet. Oh, I forgot. Because when the knowledge leaves your mind, it's no longer usable. But when you experience knowledge, be still and know on a deeper level. Adam knew his wife Eve. Very similar to intimacy. There's a muscle memory that happens, so you don't have to hold it in your mind. You naturally do it. So the coming together of these bodies, the body of your physical body, the body of your mind, when you bring them together, when the mind finds a home in the body, and the body finds a home in the mind, there's this collective I that comes forward. We call this I God. We call this I courage. We call this I goodness. We call this I present-centered awareness. We call it loving awareness. But something comes forward. And that's the energy that allows you to go on and do the impossible things. Fruits of the Spirit like courage manifest. And then you get couplets from our Unity 12 powers. Sometimes love and joy, they come together. Sometimes power and strength come together. James and John definitely come together, which is the heart in this area here. If you will, join me in placing your hands, one on the chest, one on your stomach. When we get nervous, and we're talking about calm mind, and we get agitated, this area between the hand and the heart, or between the heart and the stomach, they get activated. All of that nervousness and everything, it hits you right here, because this is where we experience life. You go out, you can put your hands down. You go out into the world and life hits you here. And because the body is consciousness itself, pressed out, believe it or not, when the mind is frustrated and the nervous system is all coagulated, discoagulated, and you're experiencing all kinds of jazz songs, beating of drums, metaphorically speaking, boom, 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 all in your body. It's like you're all beat up. You can go through the body to activate the mind. In fact, touch your arm. This is going to seem silly. When you touch your arm, you're actually touching consciousness, metaphorically speaking. If Charles Fillmore is correct, if the physical body is a projection of consciousness, in order to calm your mind down, you can touch your body. Which is why, if you're frustrated, a good foot massage kills the day. You forgot what happened. A good back rub kills it. A good head scratch. Who likes a good head scratching? Oh my God, gone. What were you mad about? I don't remember. Because that hair has been sitting in that position for so long, when you scratch it, it activates endorphins. Somebody's scratching their head right now. Mimicry, it's a beautiful, this is what we do. Look, you scratching your head. Everybody's gonna be scratching in a second. It activates endorphins. It's what we call in the ASD and ADHD community stimming, because it's a way that we calm ourselves. Some of you right now might be adjusting in your seat. Some of you might be rubbing your leg. Some of you might be playing with something in your hand and you can't help it. These are all ways that we calm ourselves down. and you inadvertently pierce the mind or walk into the doorway of the mind by accessing the body. We chew gum. It helps us to relax. Because believe it or not, the key to answered prayer is relaxation. If we, as a community, can learn how to incorporate pockets in our day where we can relax, our bodies, there's no need to ask for anything because the work has already been done. Say this with me. Prayer does not change God's mind about me. Prayer changes my mind about God. Just let that settle. You can even snap because that's on point right there. And that's not even me. I borrowed that from somebody. I don't even remember who it was. But when you relax and you recognize, for real, in this moment, although something might be showing up as a block, a person might be showing up that demonstrates the block. I might be experiencing agony, antagonism, pain in my body. There's a conscious, spiritual way for you to check out. To take you even deeper, this is a part of our teachings. The history of the unity movement comes out of the New Thought tradition. New Thought tradition comes out of the Transcendental movement. Emily Dickinson, the Transcendental movement comes out of the Mesmer movement, where he hypnotized people. So prayer is an activity where we go into an altered state, where we go into a space of hypnotism, where we go into a trance. And you can only go into these spaces meditatively and in prayer when you feel safe, when you feel relaxed. And let me ask you this. When you are in that space of prayer, even if you don't have all of the psychological language to describe it, do you remember to ask for anything? Is anything on your mind when you're truly in that state? You're just there and you feel good, you feel free. It's a reminder that it's already done. So I don't want to demonize us, but if I could use this statement, the problem is with our inability to relax. And I discovered that by stepping away and being by myself for a couple days. I experienced loneliness. I experienced isolation. I recognized my attachment style as anxious attachment. I have to have a person with me. I cannot be by myself. I'm going to go mad. Thank God they've already approved my ordination. They're like, wait a minute. Now, we heard your last message and we want to talk. When's the last time you've been to therapy? But I experienced all of these things within myself to see that they appear solid, but they're not. They're clouds. And when they all passed, I had no words to ask for. I simply relaxed and realized that everything was already done. Everything was already okay. Everything was already working itself out. Because when you're caught in that moment where your mind is not relaxed and your mind is tense, you freeze. But here's the interesting thing. When you freeze, the world is still moving. When you freeze, the world is still going on. People are still figuring things out. Circumstances beyond what you can ask or think are moving and revolving and going. So when you unfreeze, you're like, oh my God, all this stuff is going on, but I got it. Nah. While you were having your temper tantrum, everything was already working itself out. So what I need to do is learn how to trust. And what I need to do is learn how to relax. But I can only relax when I deeply trust. Do you know why I work so well here as you guys as minister? Because you trust me. Do you know why the music sounds so good? Because you trust the musician. Do you know why you like songs, certain things? There's an element of trust there. So if you want to relax and feel safe, you work on trust. Trust gives you safety, that feeling, and it gives you relaxation so that what you naturally need can happen. So God, all of our spiritual practices, prayer, all of these things which we do to calm down our minds, we experience the relaxation and the safety and the trust in our bodies. Who likes to pray with mala beads? You ever wondered why there's 81 beads on mala beads? There are 9 holes in the human body, 7 at the top, 2 at the bottom for elimination. So each prayer Each mantra, each meditation statement is a way of releasing the trauma and the blocks in all of those holes where negativity comes in to our eyes and makes us afraid, and so we close our eyes because we don't want to see the trauma. All of the holes in our body through the stuff that we have heard, the stuff that we have said. And here's the wonderful thing about the presence of God: to feel relaxed. It starts to heal not just the present, but also the past. Because if the presence of God is timeless, you don't even have to bring up the past. It heals all at once. Say this with me: it all gets healed at once. And we do it. And this is also the reason why when you go into these spaces through traditional prayer, traditional meditation, you're in different positions, so you're going to have different experiences. You'll never have the same experience because you're never in the same place. You had this wonderful epiphany, oh my God, where you were swimming because you were in a particular place. So now say this one: don't chase the highs. Just let it happen. So my invitation to you, my first invitation this morning, wherever you can, however you can, especially in this room, put yourself in a space where you feel safe, and then allow yourself to trust and relax. Bring to mind the people that really love you without any games or stigma, and you allow yourself to feel that love and let it wash over you. And then you might not be able to ask anything. The words won't come because in that space, there's a part of you that knows. So resiliency comes in when we come out of these spaces. We get courage, we get strength, we get this feeling of, I'm gonna just do it and see what happens. And then you shock yourself, because nobody stays in these spaces all the time unless you're a dedicated individual whose job is to stay in these spaces. And we have teachers and elders and gurus who do this thing constantly. But if you navigate in and out of the world, you go in and out of these spaces like the prodigal son. You go away from home because that space is your true home, and you come back home. You go in, out from home, and you come back home. But eventually you start to notice the pattern. And that pattern is, when I'm in a trusting, safe, and loving environment, I can relax. And then self-healing takes place. Catherine Ponder, her ministry, she says there's 3 areas of life and spirituality, 3 main messages: prayer, healing, and prosperity or success. True prayer is that deep relaxation, and when you relax, it's all done. Then the healing facilitates itself. And from that space, you move out into the world, and you become successful because you're in the right space. You can see opportunity. So these practices that we do, they wash our eyeballs, they calm us down, but we move through the body in order to penetrate the mind. Deepak Chopra said that I am not in the body is in me. Join me in this affirmation: I am not in the body is in me. I am not in the mind is in me. All of these things we carry within us. So through that therapeutic prayer, that therapeutic massage, that therapeutic just sitting down and relaxing, that therapeutic moment of taking your shoes off, that therapeutic moment of sitting down and watching television, that therapeutic moment of laughing, you relax. And when you relax, your body naturally generates the proper chemical reactions so that you can have the feeling of what you need. It expands your aura. You get up and move out in the world from that space, and everything that you need just is drawn to you. And you move through difficulty. For those of us who experience difficulty within your home, it's a little bit different because you have to work a little harder. But when you own the things that you can do and you make this thing work for you, even within homes where there's difficulty and tension, you can create pockets of safety within your home. A dedicated room. Who has a prayer room in their home? A dedicated space where you can go. A dedicated study. And in that space, you can unmask. Now, the first time you really unmask, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be ugly. But say this with me: everything that comes up does so to be healed. Because we have to put on certain levels of masks in order to move out in the world, in order to be normal, in order to be neurotypical. But when you're really neurodivergent, any neurodivergence in the house? You put on these masks in order to move out in the world. So calm, again, happens when I feel safe. When I feel I will not be harmed. When I ultimately feel where I won't be judged. Where I feel loved. And all of that stuff comes off. And then I can relax. And now, metaphorically speaking, God says, this is where I want you to be. Because in that space, as we give that to ourselves as a gift every day, we develop this oneness with ourselves. We fall back into ourselves. We trust ourselves, and we're more trusting in life. But all of that happens because we move through the body. Say this with me. The body is the doorway to the mind. In the 6th century, in the Jewish tradition, I want to tell you a story. There was an individual by the name of Daniel. And everybody remembers Daniel and the lion's den, that famous story. Well, Daniel was a transplant because of an invasion into his homeworld. Daniel, Shadrach, Abednego, they were all taken because they were nobles into an area where they didn't understand. They didn't know the language, didn't know the people. And Daniel wanted to maintain his connection with God. And here's the interesting thing. There were prophets and wise teachers around. He just couldn't get to them. We talked about Ezekiel, lived during the 6th century. And also, on the other side of the planet in Greece, there was a woman named Sappho, wonderful poet, wonderful philosopher, probably could have freed all those boys. Couldn't get to her. So he had to work with what he has. And many times, we can't get to our teachers to find this release. You ever tried to search for a teacher, they just don't have time? Search for a scripture, can't find it. Search for something online, can't find release. Who's been there? This shows you that the true Savior, the truest teacher, is you. Everyone else is icing on the cake. All they do is reaffirm what you already know. And so Daniel, in that 10th chapter, talks about going into a moment of prayer to try to find release. It took him 21 days, and 21 days is significant, not because of the calendar number of days, but because it's 7 times 3. It's this perfected number, which represents this moment in time, this quickening, when I put myself in the position of prayer, when I put myself in the position, when I allow my body to relax, something instantly takes over me. I feel good. And I want to tell you guys, when you feel good, what you're actually feeling is God, which is why we say God, the good, omnipotent. So you give yourself the gift of feeling good every day. And really, when you do that, you're allowing yourself to feel God in your body. Because many of us know God, but have you ever felt God? And my answer to that is yes. You feel God every day. So when you're already feeling good, you give yourself more good. And when you're feeling bad, because you've gotten the habit of feeling good, you give yourself good every day. And so Daniel did this. And when he put himself in that position, he noticed that there was a block, which is why it took him 21 days. So Daniel went in through his body. Now here's the catch. Who loves chocolate? Who loves chicken? Who loves beef and steak? Daniel had to let all that go for a second. Because the things that he was eating was blocking his prayer. And this isn't all the time, but this is just in this specific circumstance. So the next time that you're bound up in your head and you want to get free, sometimes you have to move to the side the things that you were used to eating. And it frees your body so your body isn't walking around carrying all of that stuff. So you're not carrying all of that stuff in your colonic area. So you're not carrying all of that indigestion. Because how can you hear from God when you got gas? It's hard. I can't because I'm in pain. I'm uncomfortable. Right? So Daniel cleaned his system. And then he had relief. And he said he had 2 visitors. The 2 visitors were Gabriel and Michael. Gabriel represents revelation and intuition and insight. Michael represents strength and courage. When he cleaned his body temporarily, courage came. His mind got clearer. So the gateway to the mind is through the body. And when you put the body in safety, in relaxation and in calm states, all of the things that you need circulate all throughout your body naturally. They heighten, so the mind gets free. And like Daniel, you're able to hear from God, know what to do, and move out into life. Last couple points before I close. This message came to me because I had to really experience it first. Because I wanted to see if it was real, see if it could be practical, see if there was something you could do. Which is why Charles Fillmore said that his ministry, his work, both of the Fillmores combined, is practical Christianity, practical spirituality, because it's things that you can do. So to piggyback on my original invitation, on this week, put yourself in a place of safety, put yourself in a place of trust, and if you need to, eliminate all of the crazy stuff. You can go back to it later. Eliminate all the crazy stuff from your diet and watch your mind reach a state of calm and equanimity and peace like never before. And from that space, you can hear from God and know what to do with the words from God. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings. For those of you that do watch online, please log on to unitybham.org and click on giving. For those of you that do give in-house, our ushers are making their way forward to collect the offering. Brother Julian, could you give us some instrumentals? And I want to say this too while we're collecting the offering. I want to congratulate Dr. Julian on his induction into Morehouse College's Board of Preachers and Scholars. Let's give him a hand. Let the music take you into a feel-good state while you're giving them the offering. Does everybody feel good? Awesome. If you will, point your hands in the direction of the usher. Say this with me. We bless this offering. Knowing it will be used for the building of this ministry. We bless the givers. We affirm their funds will return to them. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Put your hands together for that. If you will, we're going to turn this portion of the service over to the hands of Bruce, but one quick announcement. We're going to move immediately after the service into the installation of our prayer chaplains, and then we're going to honor Mother Peggy and Mother Eddie. I think Miss Eddie said she might be out of town during the potluck service. Does that work for everybody? All right, if you will, Brother Bruce.
All right. Are we going to do Arturo? Are you going to? Yeah. Yes, please. All right. If everybody can.
On earth
light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is.
Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Thank you much. Please join us downstairs.
We got to do chaplains
Oh, I'm
first.
sorry.
Will everyone please remain seated in this special portion of the service? Carol said, oh God, the guys are running the service. I want to tell you guys, me and Bruce just learned how to pull drapes last week. So. This is a very, very special time. Everyone can sit just for a second. We want to move right into a special portion of the service where we give honor to those who have said yes to the call of prayer chaplaincy. So I'm going to ask Sister Naja and Brother Dwayne to come and have a seat right there. And then I'm going to ask our senior prayer chaplains, our elders, wisdom keepers, Mother Evelyn and Mother Sharon to come forward. Would you all stand with me? Come and stand with me. That's all right. We'll figure it out. If you all will hold this, you drape one, you drape the other. This is a special one. Brother Dwayne and Sister Naja, first of all, on behalf of Unity of Birmingham, I want to say thank you for saying yes to the call. Prayer, according to Charles Fillmore, is the highest form of mind action. And because prayer is the highest form of mind action, there's not a whole lot that needs to be done. The wisdom keepers will tell you, once we move past the story, Miss Evelyn will say, all right, you got 2 seconds. You ready to pray? And then we make contact with God. All the rest is done. And you all have demonstrated that. Just Brother Dwayne, the first day that you walked through the door, and Sister Naja, you've been on this path for years. The first day that I met you, I recognized your consciousness as well. And so on behalf of Unity of Birmingham, we welcome you into this phase of ministry and ministry leadership and pastoral care, because the prayer team is an integral part of pastoral care. Pastoral care isn't about having something wrong. Sometimes you just need prayer and support. And so we welcome you, we love you, and we take this time to honor you. Prayer team, would you all drape the 2 candidates? Put that one around. And a very, very special candidate. I'm going to do something kind of renegade-like. This candidate has demonstrated leadership and courage and strength in this ministry for years. And this candidate, we've been in conversation probably since day one about their consciousness, about their visionary leadership and their channeling ability. And so as an honorary member of the prayer chaplain team, and the grace and the privilege to be able to make the position into the space that they want to, I also would like to honor Ms. Jane with the prayer chaplaincy star. Sacred text says to love and honor those who labor among you. And believe it or not, as a community, we all need each other. This isn't a minister-led ministry. This isn't just a church, but it's a community and a spiritual family. And so your space that you hold as an individual, when you walk in the door, believe it or not, the light that you carry is prayer. You sitting next to someone is prayer. Because Miss Jamie, just to speak to her, prays for the ministry constantly and has some phenomenal ideas that I'm sure her and Spirit will flesh out in the future. And I want you all as a team to let Spirit use you. I'm here for support. 99.9% of my answers is Yup, how can we do it? Yup, let's do it. I might be 5 minutes late, but yup, let's do it. Because we got some work to do, y'all, and we gotta do this together. So if you will, as a community, rub your hands together and point your hands in the direction of Miss Jamie, Brother Dwayne, and Mother Naja. Say this with me. We love you.
We love you.
We honor the consciousness that you are.
We honor the consciousness that you are.
Now pray for us.
And pray for us.
And so it is.
And so it
Everybody
is.
put your hands together for our newest addition to the church. Miss Jamie, Brother Dwayne, and Mother Naja. And join us downstairs for the potluck.
Now.
Amen.
Yeah.